The Toronto Raptors are making moves, as we had a report drop from Shams Charania of ESPN that came out today revealing the Toronto Raptors are waiving newly acquired PJ Tucker from the roster. Now, we saw the team make some adjustments to the team, Orlando Robinson getting a two-way. There's been some minor moves already played by Masai Ujiri in recent weeks, but with this waiving, all signs point to more moves coming for the Toronto Raptors over the next couple days. So we'll break down what this means for this team, what we can expect from the Raptors at the end of this year, as well as some updates on Brandon Ingram's current injury situation. So lots of stuff to break down in this video, but without further ado, let's dive into the news, as we got a little Shams update coming today, as news came out the Toronto Raptors have waived PJ Tucker. Now, this is not a shock. This is not a surprise to anyone. I don't even have his stats up because, frankly, PJ Tucker didn't play a single second during his third go-around with the Toronto Raptors. Of course, a guy that some people were kind of like, hey, he'd be an interesting piece, an interesting fit. The Raptors should try to get him play. Regardless of whether you fall on the capture the flag approach, to go into the play-in approach, PJ Tucker made no sense to come out there and get any minutes stolen away from some of the young guys, because frankly, he's a pretty washed basketball player in his own right, and so he's not helping win. He's not helping the people that are pro teams. But the big thing about this season, regardless if you're trying to win, you're trying to lose, we need development for these young forwards that we have on this Raptors team. So PJ Tucker stealing away some of those minutes would just be stupid, because he's not going to help us in the future. He's not going to help us in the short term. So just eating his $11 million salary is what it is. Now, why did this come at this point? Why did we immediately waive him? What was going on with this whole situation? And why are more moves coming? So essentially, the Raptors waive PJ Tucker. He'll be playoff eligible when if he signs with another team before the end of the season, while the Raptors open up a roster spot. So the Toronto Raptors open up a roster spot for them to be able to make moves, have some flexibility, bring in guys the same way they've done over the past couple of years, at the end of the season, to see what they can have at the back end of the roster and see if any of these, younger guys or prospects can actually stay on the team. And Blake Murphy gave some more insights in terms of what's going on, as it's a straight waiver per source, no buyout or money left on the table, just clearing the roster spot. PJ Tucker technically is eligible to join a team for a playoff push. If a suitor emerges, the Raptors now have an open roster spot, plus Jared Rhoden on a 10-day contract that is about to expire. So this is, where the Raptors are at. They have the ability to add someone for the full stretch of the season. They have the opportunity now, if they make a move in the next couple days, to make a trade, make an acquisition to allow them to play for the playoffs. But I don't think we expect the Toronto Raptors to be that eager to make some playoff adjustments here to close off the season. It's going to be more of a development approach, a development for a young guy. So the first guy its name is being pointed to has been Orlando Robinson, because he's on a two-way contract right now, and it's a guy that has been getting some legitimate rotation minutes for the Toronto Raptors in the back half of this season. So a guy, if the Raptors are interested in converting to an actual roster spot, that opportunity is there now at this moment, and they could backfill the two-way roster spot. So his current two-way position could then end up going into someone else, someone out there, the G League or whatever. And I think Blake Murphy kind of illustrated this as well. Somewhat related, March 4th is the deadline to sign a two-way player. So the Raptors intend to convert Orlando Robinson to a standard NBA contract. At some point, it would need to do it in the next few days so they could backfill that two-way spot. So that's something that I wouldn't be surprised. Again, Orlando Robinson has been a little bit better than I think a lot of people were expecting in terms of his impact. Of course, for the Toronto Raptors this year, averaging 5.1 points per game. Getting 3.4 rebounds in 50 minutes of action. Of course, nothing too crazy. Getting not enough block shots that some Raptors fans were kind of hoping. But a young guy that has, he's only 24 years old, has shown some steady production, some steady minutes out there at the center position. So not a bad guy to have fully on your roster spot, moving out there for the future. So interesting kind of development there. But also, this roster spot could go to the other guy. It's in a 10-day situation for the Raptors right now, and that's Jared Rhoden, who played very, very phenomenal basketball for the Raptors 905 over the course of this season, and has had some, he's a player that, looking at him, he's still relatively young, 25 years old, 6'6", but can get buckets. I mean, for the Pistons, even the last couple years, averaged 5 points per game out there on a Detroit Pistons team, got 14 minutes a night. He was a legitimate kind of rotation guy in the stretches of run he actually had with the team. Of course, since getting called up for the Toronto Raptors, he hasn't had much of an opportunity. to really play, to really go out there. But those are the two favorites I'd imagine Raptors fans be looking for in terms of people filling that roster spot. But realistically, it could be any of these G Leaguers across the NBA that could come in and get that opportunity. So we'll see how things shake out there on that front. We'll make sure to keep you updated in regards to the latest developments out there along those lines. But we do also have a Brandon Ingram injury update, as essentially news has come out, and Darko Rajaković has spoken out on this, saying that he is rehabbing. He's picking up on the stuff he's doing. Our coaches are learning him at the same time, what he's capable of doing and where the areas for improvement are. So Darko said this in regards to this whole injury situation. But we break down his recovery and his plan in 2-week chunks. And after 2 weeks, we give an update on how he's doing and how he's progressing. So expect, these bi-weekly kind of updates in regards to Brandon Ingram's injury situation. But essentially, the game plan and the news is that, and he's been great, in a great state of mind. He's very receptive to everything we're doing now. So I'm really hopeful that this next period over here, he's going to be able to ramp up his workouts. And also, we'll be spending a lot of time watching film, watching his tape, and watching our tape, and getting him to understand what we're trying to achieve here with the Toronto Raptors and how we would want him to play on both ends of the floor. So even though Brandon Ingram isn't a guy that we should expect to be in the roster, in the rotation anytime soon, he is a player that certainly the Raptors have some expectations to at least get some run out there on the basketball court of this year, to build up some chemistry with Scottie Barnes, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett going into next season, because that's a little added bonus you get to throw out there, even if it's for limited run, even if it's for limited opportunities. Just get a couple games where Brandon Ingram's out there into the lineup and able to suit up for the Toronto Raptors so he can get some run in your system. And they're looking at film, they're doing these different things, which is a huge positive. And then also we had a little further quote from Darko saying, I think we have the objective goals for each of the players, where we want to see them develop, where we want to see those guys growing. And that's the only thing that we're going to be looking at. It's not necessarily the outcome of the game, or we win now, everything is great. If we lose, everything is bad. We really need to focus on seeing those marginal gains and improvements with each of these players. We've got to approach it that way, and being able to see the bigger picture and how this investment of minutes and playing time and investing in the young guys, and to understand what it's going to be at the return point for us. So with that, with that context, the mode hasn't changed. I've seen a few people discuss how the Raptors, they have such an easy schedule at the end of this year. It's going to be really hard to, tank our way into the end of the season. I've seen all those discussions. I've seen all that chatter. I've seen all that buzz. But realistically, the Raptors are just fully focused on developing. They're trying to get the young players opportunities, trying to get the young players minutes. So that's what we're treating this season as. So let me know what you guys think about this Toronto Raptors approach, the Brandon Ingram updates, as well as PJ Tucker getting waived out there in the comment section down below. You guys are the best to make it this far. Again, hit that subscribe button if you have not just yet, because we're keeping you up to date with all the latest Toronto Raptors news. Anyways, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.